The government says it is in touch with the French authorities after the Shadow Home Secretary shared a video on social media of a French warship firing what he says were 17 live rounds. Chris Philp was being interviewed on a boat in the Channel.
Anyone who did cross the Channel and arrive in Dover could be immediately deported within around about a week.
Give that a second, he's just dragging a line by the looks of it.
Is that a warning shot towards us? I don't know.
That's what I was trying to work out.
Okay.
Well, in a statement, the French regional authority responsible for defence in the English Channel said that the French Navy units conduct regular training exercises. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp joins us now. Chris, we've seen the video, but just explain exactly what happened in your own words.
Well, we were doing an interview on the back of the fishing boat, and the French warship approached. It came very close. It was just a couple of 100 metres away from us. And as it passed the closest point of contact, they started firing. They fired 17 live rounds. We could see the spray being pushed up in the water. So they were definitely live rounds. They weren't firing beforehand. They weren't firing afterwards. No warnings were given at any point. There was no live firing warning in place. There were no warnings given over the radio. There were no signs displayed. So the way it made me feel is that this was an attempt at intimidation, because they only shot when they were at the closest point of approach to us. And then the French warship disappeared off. Ironically, I'm still on the fishing boat, as you can probably see, and the very same French warship is actually now approaching us again. I don't know how far it is, probably 3 or 4 miles away. The skipper's just checking. So I'm hoping that when it passes us, probably in the next 10 minutes, 2.5 miles away, I'm hoping there won't be a repeat of the episode.
Well, yeah, we might get it live on Sky if it happens. Why do you think they were trying to intimidate you, in your words?
Well, they could obviously see that there was an interview taking place. There were several cameras being used on the back of the fishing boat earlier. And, it's possible that the authorities don't like the idea of the illegal migration crisis being exposed. And so maybe they thought they would do this as a way of sending some literal warning shots. But it didn't deter us. We carried on. And then just a few hours after that, a little bit further south, we encountered an enormous dinghy, a mega dinghy, with about 100 illegal immigrants on it, mostly young men, which embarked from a beach further south of Boulogne. It then went back to the beach, picked up some more people. And even though there were French police officers on the beach and there were French maritime officers, another French warship and a French rib, the French did nothing to stop the embarkation, even though in similar circumstances, the Belgians, for example, do stop the migrant dinghy. And in fact, it got even worse than that, because the French authorities handed over life jackets to the illegal immigrants and then cheerily waved them on their way towards the UK. So they were not only failing to stop it, they were actively helping the illegal immigrants cross the Channel, which is obviously dangerous, and it's, of course, illegal as well.
There's been a statement from the French Prefecture for the sea, for that area. They say the French Navy units do conduct regular training exercises. Individual combat training is part of the normal activities on a vessel, and that the regulatory signals required under international standards for this firing exercise were displayed, and that the safety area was respected, and that the exercise was unrelated to the presence of a British vessel in the area, because they say you were outside the range of the shots fired.
Well, we weren't outside the range. We were very close. There was no warning given on the VHF radio, and they only fired the shots when they were in proximity to us. And I'm here with the skipper, actually, Matt. If you just turn the camera on. I mean, Matt, did you hear or see any warning?
No, there was no warning or anything. I didn't see any shapes displayed on the vessel, so it just seemed a bit strange that they've got the whole sea where they could have previously done the training, and they waited till there was right alongside. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
so no warnings.
I suppose, Matt, there would be those who would say you probably don't want to get too close to a warship from any nation when you're on a fishing boat.
No, there's no need. But I mean,
we were stationary, weren't we?
Yeah, we were passing around the stern of the warship, and the warship altered course to come alongside us. So there was that's no problem. We pass close to ships all the time. So it just seemed a bit strange that they suddenly started firing a pistol when they were close. So.
Yeah, and only then. They weren't firing before. They weren't firing afterwards. It was only when they were in proximity to us.
And Matt, the skipper, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not in 28 years on the sea. I haven't. That's the first time I've encountered this, really.
Ms. Philp, what do you think you're really achieving by going out and filming this?
Well, I think it's important to demonstrate to the public what is happening on the channel on a near daily basis. We're paying the French over £500 million. Shabana Mahmoud, the Home Secretary, has agreed to pay over £500 million to the French authorities, and yet they're not doing their job. They're not stopping illegal immigrants on the beach. They're not stopping them on the water, even though it'd be very easy to do so. And the Belgians stop illegal immigrants on the beach. Shabana Mahmoud's deal is not working. The only thing stopping these crossings right now is the weather, and the only reason the numbers have been lower this year is because the weather has been worse this year. And again, Matt, that's been your experience, hasn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, we've done less fishing trips this year than we've done in the last 3 or 4 years because the weather has been windy quite a lot this year. So I think a lot of the low numbers are due to the fact they couldn't have made the crossing if they wanted to anyway.
Although, of course, in the last few weeks we've had lovely weather, haven't we? The actual numbers, it's important for our viewers to know, Chris Philp, are down, aren't they? 13,000 arrived on small boats from January to the 24th of July, which is a 45% decrease compared to the same period last year and 18% lower than the same period in 2024. So you say that Shabana Mahmoud's policies aren't working, but the numbers are coming down.
You've just heard a skipper who's out on this water every single day, Matt, here, tell you.
But I'm just talking about the actual numbers, the physical numbers. They are coming down. You must accept that.
But they are not lower because the weather has been worse. You just heard a skipper say that. The numbers are down, not because of Shabana Mahmoud, but because the weather's worse. On days that are calm, the numbers are quite high. There was a couple of weeks ago when I think, or a month ago, when 3,000 people crossed in the space of about 2 weeks. Tomorrow, the weather is going to be extremely calm. And I'm afraid to say we're thinking there's going to be quite a large number crossing. Shabana Mahmoud's deal is making no difference. I've got video footage of the French doing nothing at all. The only thing protecting our borders right now is the weather. And in my view, that is just not acceptable.
OK, well, the latest figures do show a fall. But Chris Philp,
Because of the
interesting to get your experience today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.